Hello, feminine. You know, been listening to a lot of music lately. To be honest, I tried to get away from it for a while. It's such a great big part of my life that certainly wasn't easy. Though, I don't know, I tried to get into changing the genres to something just so completely out there that there would be no way that anything would remind me of you or of us. So something changed these last holidays, and I don't know. I guess I decided I wanted to feel it. I wanted to feel the loneliness. I wanted to feel the nostalgia. I wanted to feel. I think that's when I realized, especially when I was listening to that song, what is it, Dancing on My Own, I realized I have not been allowing myself to feel much of anything. That I ran from our connection so fast and furiously. It was like, I don't know, I jumped from the frying pan into the fryer and fell into every one of my fears, every bit of my upbringing and social conditioning, and I numbed out. I just numbed out in any and every possible way I could so I couldn't feel a thing. Until I got to the point to where I realized I wasn't really living. And then I listened to that song. I listened to it a few times. It's not even really like my favorite genre. And actually it reminded me more of you observing me, because I know you have been brave and allowing yourself to feel the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, all of it. It's one of the ways I think you are amazingly brave. And feminine, in listening to it, I realized that, it's funny, in thinking about where I've been and where I am, especially the past that we had, I never really stopped to think about how much you really did for me. Even just in being you and being the kind of person who's likable and truly kind and who puts in the effort to help make sure that I was connected with my loved ones, that and you were the kind of person that I could share and I could be excited to take with me. And I was so afraid for so long that, I don't know, that I guess that if I really rejoiced in us, that would cause it to fall apart. And so I didn't. And I took it for granted, and I numbed out with us too, for fear that if it was really true, then the minute I embraced it, it would become like some dream sent to torture me, and that you would turn out like all the others. And now I'm in a situation where I really do have to do everything on my own, even with plenty of others around me who could help, who promised me that they would. They don't. And they complain if I say anything, if I speak up at all. If I say no, sometimes even if I say yes and do exactly what they want. They get upset when I get exhausted or sick, or when the money stops flowing in because I can't do it all myself, and it's starting to take a toll. I'm completely exhausted. And I tell them this, and all they do is complain that I'm not upkeeping my end of the bargain. And if I say any such thing about how that's because they've not been keeping up theirs for a long time, then I'm the villain, making victims out of them, not understanding how hard they have it and how horrible it is all around them. And then it makes me think back to what I had with you and how much of a fool I was to run from it. I remember how you used to take care of pretty much everything. You planned things, you hosted things, you dealt with my anxiety. You soothed me. You walked me through it. You held my hand if I let you, and if I was being some sort of stubborn masculine, you let me pretend that I was in charge and that I didn't need anyone. You know what's funny is the more I feel and the more I allow myself to face myself, the more I realize in some funny ways that even this karmic situationship I've been in has only happened because you have allowed it to. I know that's funny to think about. I know that I am responsible and I have control for myself, though I also see the pattern of feminines in my life versus you. And if you were anything like them, you would have never allowed me to do what I've been doing. To hurt you, to run from you, to be unaccountable, to pretend like my life is grand when there's not a single person around me, least of all you, who believes any bit of that. My feminine, my love. There was a time when I realized that, and I will say part of me despised you for allowing me to get into this kind of trouble, to make this big of a mess, to not have told me so. So I think I'm getting to the place to where I recognize why you did it, why it seemed like you weren't fighting for me, which I took for a long time to mean that you really didn't want me. And now I see the opposite is true. That you are letting me find my way back to myself so I could find my way back to you. And feminine, I'm more grateful for that than anything I've ever been grateful for before.